it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brenda, may we please have roll call?
You sure may. Counselor Andrews,
Present.
Counselor Catalani,
Here.
Counselor Flegel,
Here.
Counselor Caroli,
Here.
Counselor Rydell,
Here.
Counselor Sachet,
Here.
Counselor Shear,
Here.
Mayor Miller.
Here.
We have a full house.
All right, just a reminder for everyone to please silence all cellular devices during the meeting. Thank you, and council members, please remember to turn on your microphones if you haven't already. Takes us to a special visitor, Borough Utility Billing Specialist Stacy Ale. Ale will be present to explain, is here to explain how quarterly sewer and refuse bills are prorated for real estate settlements.
Brenda, Roger, and I were talking after the last meeting, and there was a resident in that she had just moved into the borough, and she was concerned about her bill and that she's being charged for the whole quarter. She did not get charged for the whole quarter. We do not charge them. We only start charging them from their settlement date to the end of the quarter. With that being said, I'll explain how I do the final bills. When usually a settlement company calls in Shadowstone, sometimes the settlement company does not call in, and then we hope that Shadowstone calls us if they do the settlement to let us know. What I do is they'll give me all the information for the settlement, the date, and I will work up an escrow amount. I call them back with the escrow amount, and then they hold that until the settlement. Once the property has settled, then I send them the final bill, and they pay that final bill out of the escrow amount. And then if they have any extra escrow amount, the settlement company will send it back to the old owner. But we do not, in any way, shape, or form, charge people when they're not owning the property. It only goes from their settlement date till the end of that quarter. And also, when somebody new buys a property, if they don't move in for 2 months, we still charge them from the settlement date, because we don't know what they're doing, if they're remodeling, if they're just cleaning out, or what the case may be. But that's how I do the final bills.
Does make sense.
Thank you.
Thank you for that clarification.
We thought it was best for Stacy to come in,
Yeah.
since she's the one that deals with this every day. You know, she handles settlements many a week sometimes, and especially getting into this time of the year because people are starting to sell their homes, you know, to move before school next year. But the other point that I think is very poignant to make tonight is every month you get a delinquency report, and the balance keeps dropping, and you are looking at the person that handles this on a day-to-day basis. Stacy's very good at working with our residents, those of us that are willing to work with us and keep up with their promises. If not, we go after those that don't. So,
And we do appreciate that.
Thank you, Stacy.
And it's
Thank
been
you.
dropping for years. Like this keeps
Yeah.
yes.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're
Even though
continuing.
I monthly tell her to tell you thank you, I'm going to tell you thank you
Yes,
in person
yes.
for those,
Thank you all.
for that work.
Yeah, we thought it was a good idea for you all to meet Stacy and know, you know, how does she do this, you know, and the issue, of course, at the last meeting was that there was an accusation made that we overcharged somebody, and that was not the case, so.
Good to know. Thank you.
Thank you.
Stacy.
Thank you.
And what the public might not know is because I, actually do spend some time over here in the offices, and I see that you are working continuously. I just see how they work. And, for the folks that out in the public that don't understand it, they really do work really hard. And I see it myself personally, so I want to wish you for coming in today and explaining this. Thank you very much. And also, I appreciate the rest of the folks that work in the office as well. They do a great job. You're welcome.
Any questions for Stacy?
Hate it.
Thanks.
Oh, you mean you're not gonna stay for the rest of the meeting?
I gotta just off.
We understand.
Good night.
See ya. All right, that takes us to public comment period number 1. Please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 5 minutes. Buddy? Okay. Closing public comment period number 1, moving on to the consent calendar. Approve the minutes of the March 25th, 2025 Borough Council meeting.
Motion. Second.
All those in,
Hold on a second, there was something on here. Where was it? I knew I should have made a note of it right at that time. Oh, you might wanna, on page 3, under public comment, Don Barry's public comment, about he attended the accreditation meeting. Can we make a note that that was the police department accreditation? Because, under public comment period 2.
Sure, we can add that.
Only because it doesn't,
I actually kind
yeah.
of picked up on that too. Clarify that.
Okay, sorry, thank you.
all right.
So was there a first? Okay, and a second?
The amendment.
Okay, thank you.
All those in favor with the correction?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. No action and discussion items, which takes us to the President's Report. I just want to wish everyone a happy Easter, because we won't be back here again until after Easter. Takes us to the Mayor's Report.
April showers bring May flowers, so as you can look around town, you're starting to see more flowers, although it's still a little chilly, but we got the rain, that's for sure, so hopefully that'll continue. That's it?
Okay. Takes us to the financial report. Financial statement as of March 31st will be available at the next meeting on April 22nd. That takes us to the delinquent sewer and refuse account report, which everybody has in front of them. As we just mentioned, yes.
It's awesome.
Yes, it
It
is.
does.
We just sent the 7 properties that you all approved for writ of surefascia. We sent them to our solicitor today, so we'll be pursuing those. And we have another one in the works from October of last year, so we're working on them.
You don't have to thank her this month.
I won't,
think.
you did it yourself.
That's like half of what's left.
I'll give you a break this month. All right, so fire department, EMS, everybody has the March Citizens Fire Company number 1 monthly report was emailed. And then we have the February Lifeline EMS report in front of us. Any questions on either of those?
I have to say, I was taken by 4-8 to the emergency room on the 19th of March, and they were awesome. It was my first ride ever in an ambulance in my life. And this group down here they're good. They're good. So, but I was sorry to take the ambulance out of the community for the hour that I needed it.
That is what it's there for.
That's right.
Thank you.
It's there.
Thank
No,
you
I
for
know,
letting us
I know. But I asked them, where are you from? They said, Palmyra. I said, oh.
All right. There's a Fire Service Commission meeting on April 16th. And Roger and I will be going to that. And we'll be bringing our report back to you guys on the 22nd.
I go to that as well.
That's right. Tom does go. All right, and that takes us to Western Lebanon County Regional Police Department. Chief, what do you have?
Unless you guys have something for me.
Do they have anything for the police department? Nothing? Okay. Planning Commission did not meet in March. The next scheduled meeting is Wednesday, April 23rd, beginning at 7. Which takes us to Public Works Department. We all have the acting superintendent's monthly report in front of us. And I just have, I have one question about that. The split rail fence at Memorial Park, something happened to it, or is it just age?
A couple of the rails broke. I don't know if it was a tree that fell on it or, but there's a split rail fence along the backside towards the railroad there.
Yeah.
It was one of them.
Okay. Okay. Any other questions about the report? Okay. Roger, you're up.
Okay, Borough Properties, not really anything to report on the municipal building. Things have been going well here. Public Works, the furnace installation is complete. Seems to be working well, so that's done and over with. Town Square, nothing going on there. Clock's working good.
Yeah.
Vacant lot, that's on 40 East Front Street's where we have our big millings pile. We're trying to liquidate those millings so we can possibly do something with that lot. This year's road project, the millings, we're gonna keep some, but we made an area at the Public Works compound to store them, and the contractor will get rid of the rest of them. So we won't have that huge mountain of millings down there anymore. And then the vacant lot, the northeast corner of Lingle and Main, apparently there is an effort, if we make that an official park, that some of the Bowman Trust money may come into play to help us develop that. So it's just open space now, it's not an official park. So in order to dedicate it as a park, we have to do a resolution. We have to tell Joselle what to put in the resolution. So the question is, do we want to make it a public park? And two, we'd have to come up with a name for it. I mean, I put Carpenter Park there just as a thought, but it could be something like Western Gateway Park,
Yeah, we talked in the office today.
Mayor
Mayor's Park
to honor all the former mayors.
and Burgess is that we're, part of the community.
So doesn't have to be anything decided tonight. We just have to think about it and let Joselle know how to craft the resolution.
Well, that does make it more appealing to name it after Fred. I mean, he had a lot to do with Memorial Park. I almost called it Fireman's Park again. But if we have to designate it as an official park and come up with a name for it, might be something to think about.
And when I ran the idea past our rep from DCNR about getting a grant for developing that as well, that of the list of things I gave them to look at, they liked the idea of developing that park if it becomes a park. So I think it would help us with grant. Well, we would have to have it as.
And more appealing.
Yeah.
Great.
It's fantastic,
So,
it is really fantastic.
How do we make a motion to
Yeah.
get a resolution to make it a park?
can we get, I was just gonna say, so it sounds like we're all for it.
Well, I think if you're naming it for somebody, like she wants to know if we want to put stuff in the resolution to memorialize it in that person's honor, or if you just want to have it a generic name, that stuff doesn't have to be in there, but.
Like you could have it Mayor's Park, this is just an example, Mayor's Park.
And then put
And then, put a bench for Fred, or,
Yeah.
a garden for anybody. I mean, we have the name of all of the mayors and burgesses from 1913.
Yeah.
So we have everybody.
Yeah.
make it quick. Mayor's Park.
Oh, I'm just using that as an example. I mean, that's
Then you
entirely.
guys can figure out
yeah.
what to put where.
Yes.
You donated grants.
Free.
So what do they have to do? Do they vote for it now? Or do they have to wait until you, to get the
we'll just-
resolution?
yeah.
Okay,
So
all right.
are we okay with Mayor's Park, or?
I like Brenda's idea with that, because it
Yes.
involves our town history,
Well,
and it's
and-
the entrance to our town.
Right. Yeah.
That's an excellent idea.
I like Mayor's Park.
And
You
then
know.
with, like, the different trees with plaques with the different mayors or
Right.
benches or whatever, somewhere to memorialize all the different mayors that have served Palmyra since its conception.
Does anybody
Well, I
not
don't know
like that
that we
idea?
have them since its conception. Since,
Oh, some of them served a very long time,
but you said 1913.
13, when we were chartered.
Yeah, yeah.
Back then,
Yeah,
they
there
were
you go.
Burgesses.
Okay.
That's
Do
up
you
to-
need a
I mean,
motion, or do you just,
No, I talked to the, I'm okay with talking to Giselle.
Go ahead and get
Yeah.
a resolution that we can vote on.
Anthony, you good?
We'll get her to prepare it.
be good?
The Schaefer Herb Tract, not much going on there. The guys, I'm trying to get them to police some of the dead trees and some of the weeds and stuff in the bank there, and I think they're due to put some mulch on that berm there too, so that's one of those jobs, as we have time to do it, we'll keep working at it. Nothing notable in the cemetery. Parks. We have, for Memorial Park, we had some graffiti on some of the playground equipment. We did some research about getting some chemicals, and we actually purchased a pressure washer too, because we didn't have one in the Public Works Department. But Brenda also talked to a person who I believe is going to do that for us.
Well, apparently this young man saw the graffiti and was very upset. I think it even maybe popped up on a Facebook page somewhere. The gentleman by the name of Jordan Homer with Remo Services called in and volunteered his services to remove the graffiti. He provided us all the information insurance-wise that we needed, and we gave him permission to do it. So in the next couple weeks, he's gonna come in and take the graffiti off the playground equipment. I wanna check with him to see if he's gonna take it off of the buildings too, but he's
Wonderful.
yeah, he was very upset.
Is he a resident?
Oh, well, he's in this area, he's at 129 Palmyra Road. So we wanna say thank you to him publicly.
Absolutely.
So,
That is wonderful.
yeah. it was
Did
very-
cameras
It
pick
is,
anything
you
up?
know, it's,
Did the cameras pick anything up? Were they able to?
Charged the kid
Okay.
Oh, we caught him?
stuff, so we're good.
it's disturbing to see it on buildings, but it's even
Playground
a little
Yeah.
more disturbing to see it on
And
equipment
yet the
that kids are.
handicapped,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
the stuff for, you know,
Yeah.
people with disabilities, kids with disabilities, that's just disgusting.
Yep.
And, you talked about the library.
Yeah, you may recall, we gave permission to a person whose young child died suddenly, unexpectedly. I met with her at the park last Friday, and she picked a spot over towards the intersection of the trails by C. Schultz Pavilion to put the little library there, so we'll be
that's great.
taking care of that then. She's gonna plan a big dedication ceremony sometime later, I think late summer, early fall, so,
That's a good place.
yeah. That's pretty much a wrap for parks. Nothing for refuse and recycling. Sewer system, pump station 3 is still in a design process, waiting for DEP's review comments to come back, so we're waiting for them. The sewage grinder pit that's over by pump station 2 at Colonial Craft Kitchens, of course, the day Clint leaves, we start having trouble with it, so, we thought we had some power problems, but I had Jason Heisey come out and look at it. Everything seems to be fine. We think the problems are the pumps themselves. So we're trying to find replacement pumps or somebody locally that can rebuild the pumps. And the people that I reached out to, we were gonna meet with them on site, but he's on vacation this week. So hopefully next week we'll get a little bit more direction on that. I thought originally they were the original pumps until Elijah's crew pulled them up, and they're not the same brand of pumps that were in there from our installation. So, it's been about 15 years, and
I
those
was gonna
pumps are,
say.
those pumps are supposed to last 7 to 10 years, so.
Okay.
I don't know,
Because this was one of the joys of being on council is shortly after I got on, I had to read all about these muffin monsters and sewage grinders. And I thought that's when we did that. Okay, yeah.
So there's two pumps in the pump pit, and neither of them are working, so they have to take the sewer vac truck over there like once or twice a week and suck everything out and dispose of it, so we'll have to keep doing that until we get new pumps in there.
Thank them for doing that.
Yeah, it's good times.
Indoctrination. Welcome to your acting superintendent. role.
Yeah.
Which reminds me, we're probably going to make sure we get a shower in the budget for them down there, because they got a sewer bath while they were doing it the one time, so they had to go home to take a shower, so want them to be able to do that here on site, so that's the joys of public works. Sinkholes, the only active one we have right now is the one at the Grant Street Bridge. I had an interesting phone call the other morning from the local PennDOT people. Hey, we understand there's a sinkhole there, so I gave them the whole story. So from what I understand, we're still waiting for PennDOT's geotechnical people to come look at it. I provided all the studies and everything that we did from ARM Group, so we're in waiting mode on that as well, so see what happens. The other one, the big sinkhole in McIntosh Crossings Detention Basin. I got a call from Steve McCurdy today. He's the resident that lives right, the hole was
Yeah.
about ready to touch his
Yeah,
house.
pretty much.
It's bigger.
And he was wondering if the borough could assist in any way to try to encourage something to happen there, because he's not having any luck on his own, I guess. So I dug Joselle's letter out that it was actually last May that we had her draft a letter about that. We can send an enforcement notice under our stormwater management ordinance, give them 30 days to try to do something, or we could do it under the property maintenance ordinance. The problem is, and we talked about this before, the notices have to go to the homeowners association, which will go to Weaver's address, because that's the address that's on file right now, because I don't believe the homeowners association even exists yet, so.
No, not as far as the residents running it. But I thought, and this was secondhand, that that Weaver was having an engineer come out and look at it. So maybe that
Well, the
information is incorrect.
Yeah, the story that he relayed to me today was Weavers are not getting an engineer, and if Mr. McCurdy wants the engineer, they want him to pay for it, and that's, that.
Oh.
'Cause there's a note-
okay.
there's
Then
notes
I
on-
definitely got the wrong
Yeah,
secondhand.
there's notes on the plan that specifically say if there's a sinkhole in the detention basin, it should be inspected by a geophysical engineer or geological engineer, and the responsibility for the maintenance is now, I guess, on the homeowners association, so, according to the notes on the plan. So, and the problem is, if we send an enforcement notice, we have to follow through on that, so, and that's why I think the last time you guys decided not to do that, because there's no homeowners association yet, so you don't really know who you're gonna follow through with.
Yeah.
So I guess I'm kinda asking again, is that something you want us to do and try to get moving, or?
My concern is now with it's encroaches on somebody's residence.
And
It's getting bigger.
Yep.
I mean, from last week to this week with all the rain, it has grown, I don't know how many feet in size, but it has grown since I've gone by there almost every other day.
Do we have to give 30 days?
Can we just send a letter like we did before?
That's what the solicitor suggested.
Okay, so it's not, like, I'm thinking less than 30 days that's why I'm
Oh.
asking the question.
You're thinking what?
Less than 30.
Oh, less than, okay.
Because he obviously knows there's a problem, and he's not helping the homeowner, so do we really have to give 30 days?
I don't know if it specifically says that in the ordinance or not, that I'm not sure of, but that's what she suggested, is 30 days. you want us to do that, I do need a motion to approve us
And I
doing
thought,
it.
the other thing, my other thought is, I thought with the enforcement, Jill, I thought that we had, trying to remember what we said last time. That if there's not residents as the homeowners association, he's the homeowners association. So wouldn't we enforce it with him?
Those aren't ours to figure out, though. To tell you the truth, it's not. So we should put out a motion that says we're gonna send a letter, 30 days enforcement. That's it. Let the courts figure out who owns the homeowner association, who owns this whole, and that's theirs to figure out, not ours.
Well, it's not, it's the fact that the residents are not in charge of the homeowners association.
And that really shouldn't.
There's no
have any-
board, there's nothing.
It shouldn't have any
Right.
bearing on it. There's the
Right.
safety concern, it's encroaching on a home.
Yeah.
You have 30, somebody has 30 days to fix it. Whoever that is, whoever the responsible party is, should be made to fix it.
And the last time it was in the middle of the detention center pond, it
Well,
wasn't
but,
not
it-
against the
but
house.
that, this is not the first time that particular sinkhole has opened on that property. So it's, McCurdy has dealt with this before.
Right.
Yeah, this same area opened before, and then they found out that there was astroturf and stuff
AstroTurf, yeah, I've
buried
heard
in there.
that.
and then
I've read
DEP
that.
fined them and made them
Yeah.
dig all that stuff back out, which is a good thing.
Properly fill it.
Yes, so,
I would make the motion to send the letter,
A second.
30 days.
Who's the second?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
And
You're
I'm
gonna abstain?
abstaining.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but.
I think that's a wrap for sinkholes. Stormwater management, I reached out to Mike Nouse today and see if he had an update on either of these two, and there's no feedback from PennDOT on the Ridge Road situation, and he hasn't heard from anybody yet on repair methods for the culvert on Main and Mark, so we're still waiting for that stuff, so. Street and alley maintenance, there's a lot of alleys that need attention.
Give you one?
It's
one too?
It's all.
It's all over.
Probably on the,
There's a
on the list
really
already.
bad one.
Everywhere we
'Cause I
go,
hate
we
it.
see, yeah, the problem is we have 4 guys right now, we only
I
have 2
know,
guys with CDLs right now, so it really, and we're getting into the peak mowing season and street sweeping, leaf collection this week, so it's really tough we're just kind of limping along right now, just keeping our heads above water, really, so.
And we appreciate that, but.
Yeah, we do.
We do. Is there any,
But
I mean, are we close to getting folks for those other positions? Are we?
Well, we'll be looking for an official superintendent, see what we get. Who knows if we'll find a qualified candidate or not. And that's all we have budgeted for this year,
Correct.
so.
Yeah, I was just wondering if there was someone that we were progressing for that position to be filled. I mean, I didn't know if there was, if we had a lot of folks apply, I guess you could say.
Yeah, we haven't put the word really out on this, like, we haven't pushed for it yet. Like I said, I mentioned before, I talked to somebody, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
So we're just gonna have to advertise and see what we get. And to Elijah's credit, I mean, he's only 20 years old, but he's doing a pretty decent job for the experience level he has, so.
Thank you for that report, by the way.
Yeah.
I neglected to say that earlier.
It was funny, because I asked him, I said, as the superintendent, you need to do a monthly report. He goes, I already did it. I was like, okay, good enough.
he definitely seems,
He's a good kid.
yes,
He is.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, we allowed the dust to settle for a little bit too, because we were up in the air with Clint leaving.
Right.
What was
That is
gonna be
true.
official, is,
Yes,
I
it
mean,
is
we
true.
waited 3 weeks for an answer from him.
Did.
So, we're just allowing the dust to settle before
Yeah.
we go back out.
Very understandable. Very understandable.
But as we have time, we will try to address some of these alley issues. So they're in pretty bad shape.
Well, Rainbow Snow was done. Yeah, and so was
He is
Carry
happy.
Covered.
Yeah.
And really, I did, there's a grant possibility available for, remember I had budgeted in the fall for the battery backup for the signal at Main and Lingle? PennDOT just announced there's a Green Light Go grant period coming up, and battery backups are eligible for that. So I think we're gonna try for that, see what we get. I don't know much about, there's gotta be a match of some kind, but I can't find the actual percentage. I don't know if it's a 50-50 or 80-20, or maybe it's 100%. I'm not sure, so,
You said it's PennDOT Green Light Go.
yeah. It's the ARLE, A-R-L-E, Green Light Go program. It's the money they
I
get
think
from
of
people
Dr.
blowing
Seuss
through.
every
red
Yeah.
day
lights.
Does that.
Because it sounds like green light.
Red light
go.
go.
Put a
Sounds like
traffic-
Dr.
put
Seuss.
a red light cam in. License plate.
So that's a wrap for Public Works, unless you have any other questions. The solicitor let us know that I congratulated Joselle for wearing down the Lebanon County court system to take care of this appeal the way that normally is taken care of. So the pretrial conference and the bench trial that was scheduled for the appeal is canceled. Briefs are due. Joselle already handed her brief in, so she got hers in on time. And Mr. Bainey is represented by a new attorney. He did enter his appearance into the case, so he'll have until April 18th to put his brief in, so. And then it just goes to the judge for a decision, so. So we'll see.
Well,
how
that's
that
good,
goes.
because that saves you a lot of time.
Yep. Takes you to zoning and codes. I believe you have the report in here.
Yes.
We had a report.
Where is it? This is a great report.
Yes.
Is this report generated from whatever that system is? You put this together yourself? Okay.
Appreciate it.
Well, thank you. We appreciate it. It would be nice if that system that we paid a lot of money for would generate it for you instead of you having to do it yourself.
Yeah, it doesn't automatically do
Okay.
it. It can give him the information, but he has to go through all the information and
Thank you.
put it into this report,
Boxes.
which was the chief's template, so.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I sort of recognize the fonts. So,
But it's much better than what we had previously, so.
very, it's fabulous.
Awesome.
Stop calling me.
Yeah.
Let's see, Borough Manager's Report. I don't think I have anything else other than what we just discussed, so.
Okay. All right, no communications. Any other business? Mayor?
Oh, absolutely. With what was discussed today, we've seen, the employees for the borough and all of the great things that they've done and how they interact and work with everything.
And step up.
And actually do step up. And that's what I just want the town to understand, is we do have a fantastic group of people that really work on it, as well as the council, because the council does all of the work to run this town, which most folks don't realize how much is involved with it. And then also with the other groups, when we get all these different problems that come up, like the sewerage problems type things that you might not know are occurring in the town, but they are, and they take a lot of work and input. So I just want the community to know that we have really fantastic employees, and we should be very thankful of it. We also have the group that takes care of the town, and you also have a great council. So I just wanted to thank everybody for that. So good job, everyone.
Nothing.
She shakes her head. Brenda, you got anything?
Oh, you're all the way to me already?
I am. Everybody's shaking their head.
I got nothing.
Okay. All right, that takes us to public comment period number 2. Please step to the microphone, state your name and address for the record, and try to limit your comments to 3 minutes. 3.
We're gonna have a stamp for his name and address.
Don Barry, 7 on North Trent. I wondered if anybody was aware of, Josh Aparo announced last week, wasn't on Main Street Media.
Oh, yeah,
There's some Main Street, funds available.
yeah, there's
He's
main,
making
yeah,
available.
yeah. And I wanted to look into where, because it's only certain places,
Yeah, they didn't have particulars, just said he had this funding coming out.
yeah,
The money's almost gone.
yeah.
That's what they
Well,
were saying. That's
we-
all I had.
I figured it was going to areas other than Palmyra.
Middletown got some.
Yeah, Middletown got it.
Yeah, Middletown.
Almost town, I think.
Town got some
Almost town.
Yeah, that was announced,
a couple months ago.
yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Barry. Anybody else for public comment? Okay, come on up. It's fine, take your time.
My name's Marilyn Allen. I live at 305 West Oak Street here in the borough. And we have, as you know, received the 90. How heavy they would be. And I asked the young lady at the borough office if I could get. Unless you approve it.
We have to approve something like that? They were supposed, they were, you could order one when we first switched over, but,
What were, it wasn't 90, we're 96, was it 33?
96 gallon, and I think
31.
there's a 64, or no, they.
no,
It was a
31.
30-something.
It is a 30. They did have a
31
small
because I
30.
commented that the smaller ones were smaller than the 33-gallon ones.
Yeah.
So, then there was nothing in between.
I don't believe Casella has any more of the small bins.
I thought they had to be ordered, which is
They
why
did.
some of us had to wait.
Yeah.
Well, and
To get
I
'em.
wouldn't even mind paying for them and whatever. Of course, then I have more surgeries coming up, so, if there's any chance that I could get smaller ones.
Could we at least ask them if there's any available that we
Yeah.
could switch out?
'Cause I
or-
know they were keeping some in case like wheels broke
Break
and
'em.
things like that, so there might be one to.
And I agree with you, they're clumsy too. But I'll be the first one to admit, they do seem to be working well.
Well, they are, except that I thought I could maybe just take them out every 3 or 4 weeks, but then with the people who are picking them up known to, I'm on Mark Street, and if you know, Mark Street is very short, and sometimes when they
Yeah, I'll be honest with you, mine don't go out every week. Well,
Mine don't
it
either.
will once the weather gets hotter, but my recycling does not go out. Because it takes a long time for that thing to fill up for me.
Well, just if there's a chance to get smaller ones, I would.
We'll see what we can do.
And
They would be able to take care of it. Office, and he said no.
anybody else for public comment?
Oh, it looked like he was
I
getting
thought
up.
he was getting up.
Oh, he did that on purpose.
He did do that on purpose. He's giving me that side eye. Yeah, you.
Yeah, you.
Oh, time's up.
You snooze, you lose. Anybody else for public comment? No? Okay. Closing public comment, period number 2. Borough Council will conduct its next public meetings on Tuesday, April 22nd, 2025, and Tuesday, May 13th, 2025, beginning at 7 p.m. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? 39 minutes. You cheapskate. Him.